Can we stop asking me to teach you how to make a starter from scratch? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery, and I'm here to help you simplify sourdough. I'm gonna be honest with you. After watching thousands of new sourdough enthusiasts struggle to make a sourdough starter from scratch, there is a faster and more reliable way to get there. I know it sounds like it should be simple. It's just flour and water, right? That process breaks down over and over for people who just want to bake bread. What a brand new baby starter needs is different than what a maturing starter needs, and is yet again different than what a mature, stable culture needs. You're not managing one long, boring wait. You are managing 3 different sets of rules back to back on a culture that cannot tell you what stage it's in. And new sourdough enthusiasts, often with no experience to recognize which stage it's in either. That is a lot to ask of someone who has never fed a starter before in their life. And that's exactly why not only am I not signing you up for it, I'm also not coaching you through it. So I'd rather point you to the sure thing rather than coach you through a process that I know fails sometimes more than it works. So here's what you're signing up for when you go the scratch routine. The first couple of days, nothing much really happens. On day 3 or 4, you might see a little burst of bubbling, even doubling, and that feels like a win. But that is not yeast yet. That is harmful bacteria multiplying rapidly really early on. And the smell alone should tell you. So be careful. One good rise does not mean that it's ready. Not only will it not leaven your bread, you risk getting yourself and others sick. Your starter needs to double a minimum of 3 times in a row before it is even safe to bake with. And safe to bake with is not the same milestone as strong enough to bake with. People mix those up constantly. That is exactly how people end up with gummy, dense loaves and they don't even know why. So after the false rise, activity dips to almost nothing for days while the culture balances and tries to establish itself with real yeast. And during that window, your starter hasn't built up that protective acidity yet. So it is at this stage that it's at the highest chance of contamination, things like mold. After that, you're looking at least a week of acidification, and then usually somewhere around weeks 2 to 4, that's when you usually see the first rise starting. The one that's actually driven by yeast and not bacteria. Full maturity with a starter that rises predictably on a schedule, usually somewhere around the 8-week mark. So maybe you ask really nicely, and you just really, really want the recipe for starting a starter from scratch. You want it? Here it is. Go to doughmygoodnessbakery.com. Click on shipping, go to dehydrated starter. Pay $20, get free shipping, and it'll land at your door in just a few days. And then you're baking just a few more after that. Or you can find a local sourdough bakery in your area, or borrow one from a friend. Any of those options beats making one from scratch. Don't put yourself through all that if you don't have to. And don't drag me into it either. Happy baking.